Tuesday, the 30th of November 2021. Update on I Do. For more updates, please don't forget to subscribe. Zoya is showing around a blurry old photo and asking people if anybody recognizes it in the hope that she would get to know about her dad's family members, but in vain. She gets disappointed when they can't and thinks that this effort too went down the drain. She sees some college girls passing by and starts walking in that direction. Nazma, who has just come out of her college, is being teased by some boys, when Zoya steps in and salvages her by giving the hooligans a taste of their own medicine and insults them by throwing ink on their faces. Nazma is excited to see this. They both leave together joyous. Assad comes in early from the office and inquires about Nazma and is told by Dilshad that she is out to return from college. Assad leaves for his room. Just then, Nazma and Zoya enter humming cheerfully and Dilshad asks them the reason for their overjoyous mood. Nazma begins to narrate the entire incident, but I interrupted by Assad, who demands to know what was so funny in boys trying to tease her. Zoya butts in, saying that what was funny was the way she insulted them in front of the entire college. Assad informs Nazma that from tomorrow onwards, he would go to the college with her and demand STHE names of the boys who misbehaved with her. Zoya again replies on Nazma's behalf, saying that he can't be everywhere with Nazma and that she can handle situations like this on her own without the assistance of his overprotective brother. She asks Assad not to undermine girls by thinking of them as weak and not able to defend themselves. She also adds that if anybody ever tries to tease Nazma again, she would teach them a lesson with her karate chops. She tries to show them a demo but instead ends up breaking a glass and spilling the water on the floor, further aggravating his anger. Dilshad tries to patch up by asking the girls to rest, and after they are gone, tells Assad to stop being judgmental on Zoya, as after all, she helped Nazma today, and whether he believes it or not, she actually is a good girl. Saying so, she leaves, leaving Assad frustrated. Seeing Ayan play the guitar, Hamera comes up to him and asks him as to why is he so frivolous in matters of love when he sometimes looks so serious while playing the guitar, thereby sparking off a debate on love and relationships. On the other hand, Assad is trying to make Dilshad understand that he likes a girl to be well-mannered and sophisticated and organized, while Dilshad is trying to convince him that when love happens, all these lists of quality goes out of the window and the person looks the best despite all her faults. Zoya too is bearing out her heart to Nazma, talking about her take on love and relationships and what does she look for in an ideal life partner. The conclusion to this whole discussion arrives that Ayan doesn't believe in love happening, Hamera silently accepting that she's already in love, Assad with the belief that even if love exists, it's not meant for him and he wants a carbon copy of his mother in his wife. Dilshad conveying that when love has to happen it would, throwing caution to the wind, and Zoya saying that she would want to fall in love and is just waiting for the right time that God has destined for her to meet her ideal life partner. At the dining table, where Assad is cribbing to Nazma about a drop of water remaining on the sides of the cup, Zoya as usual drops everything will, trying to reach for it. Unable to take it any longer, he asks her if she could in a human fashion. She too retaliates, saying that she does, and he would notice if he leaves his robotic lifestyle. She apologizes for it and offers to clean up, but Dilshad already gets to it. Nazma tells Dilshad that she met Sushma auntie who wants to go with her to the play tomorrow. She readily agrees after asking for Assad's permission to go and wants to know the date. When Nazma says it's tomorrow, she gets upset and refuses to go tomorrow without citing any reason. When Nazma tries to ask her, Assad reprimands her to eat quietly as he doesn't like noise on the dinner table. They silently finish their dinner while Dilshad is in introspection. Rashid's mother trying to explain to him the importance of him moving on, and saying that as an advice and not a warning, since Nikat's life is at stake. Also, he had promised Shirin that he would never meet them again. She says that she understands the pain that he's in and that even after 17 years he has not been able to keep her away from his heart. He defends himself saying that he runs away from the past, but it catches up with him in several forms. He has been fulfilling his promise to Shirin for past 17 years and never went to meet her, but couldn't keep her far too. His mother advises him that him taking one step in their direction would ruin everything. She asks him to live in the present, otherwise any day a great tragedy could happen, and leaves. He thinks to himself that he's been trying that for the past 17 years but still doesn't know how to succeed. Dilshad, who has come to the Dargah to offer her prayers, comes face to face with Rashi's and is shocked to see him there, and emotional too as a tear trickles down her face. The screen freezes on her face. Dilshad and Rashid are both surprised to see each other. She comments that she never thought they would ever meet like this. He says, me too. But maybe that is Allah's wish. She says it's his and not his. When he knew she would come there, why did he come today of all days? He says he has been coming for the past 17 years, but maybe she doesn't. No. She says that she does. Assad approaches the Dargah with his car. She turns around but he holds her hand. She is surprised and faces him and jerks her hand away, remembering him calling Shirin as his wife, demanding to know, what is he doing? Rashid asks her why hadn't she called back when he called her numerous times and also left messages as he wanted to meet her. She says that he went away from them, saying she doesn't deserve to be his wife, therefore now neither she nor he has the right to undo the past. He tries to stop her but she goes, gives him a final look, turning back and leaves. Assad, who is approaching the Dargah, crosses Rashid, who is also walking dejectedly, but they don't notice each other. Ayan, who has got movie tickets for his sisters, again engages himself into flirting and teasing with Hamera, who is hopelessly in love and waits for the slightest signal of love from Ayan, and who squashes this wish every time. Assad finds Dilshad sitting under a tree and tells her that he thought of picking her up since he got early leave from office. Sensing her sad, he asks her that he knows that this date is important for her and she comes every year here, but she is unusually sad today and asks the reason behind it. She says that sometimes past springs up before her in a form that it actually feels real. Assad tells her to let go of the past and not tread on those roads that lead to any involvement of her with her past, as that only causes pain to her and her children. She says that she knows and has that in mind. He takes her home along with him. Shirin is making the invitation list and marking the names that she is confused about to be asked later from Razia, when Razia herself walks in telling her that Hasina is coming to their house unannounced. Sahiran wants to know why. She says that she doesn't know but knows this much, that in marital relations, the other side doesn't come without a reason and that something must have happened. Shirin is disturbed and so is Razia, thinking that Mamujan is not at home, and one of the Lae Mimibers should be there to receive them. She asks Shirin about Rashid and is told that he went to the office for an early meeting. She calls up his cell phone but the call doesn't get through, giving Razia a chance to scold Shirin at her extreme leniency with her husband. She calls up the office herself and is shocked when they tell her that Rashid didn't come at all to the office today. Shirin too is upset at his lie. Asad and Dilshad return home to find the kitchen and the dining area in a complete mess and wonder who did this, since Zoya and Nazma are both at the college. Just then Zoya springs up from behind a compartment in the kitchen smeared with flour and other kitchen stuff, donning a chef's coat and declaring that she made a cake today, much to Dilshad's amusement and Asad's anger. She shows the cake from the oven, which is poorly made and scraped from sides. She justifies it, saying that she has a few steps in the recipe left and then it would be complete. She turns to her tablet and starts talking to the virtual parrot and dancing to unlock the tablet that went into sleep mode. Dilshad is all smiles, but Asad, unable to take it any longer, goes inside. Razia is reprimanding Shirin for being too lenient on her husband, that he is lying and half the time she doesn't even know where her husband is. Just then Rashid walks in and Shirin asks him the reason for not getting through his phone. When she tried, he makes up an excuse of a network error when he was working in his office all day. She is about to tell the truth to Rashid, when she is interrupted by Hasina's arrival. Zoya is looking around for the chocolate sauce, which she has forgotten where she kept due to her creeless nature, and simultaneously talking to her to ask her the reason of making cake today. When Dilshad does, she says that she noticed Dilshad was feeling low for the past 2 days, since she was overly smiling to hide her sadness more so today. Therefore, to cheer her up, she made chocolate cake. Moved by this gesture, Dilshad hugs Zoya, and Zoya confesses that whenever she looks at her, she feels like she's looking at her mother. Asad comes in and interrupts them, saying dryly that if everything is over, could he have a cup of coffee? Dilshad gets to it, but Zoya confronts him, saying that he should eat cake instead, since he is the one who needs sugar the most, and won't be nitpicking so much if he ate sweet quite often. She turns around to look for the sauce. Dilshad asks him to cut some slack to the poor girl. He says call her anything but Bachara. Zoya comes out saying the sauce isn't in her room too. She again starts with her poetry, literally driving Asad from the dining area to his room. Hasina tells that the reason she came to their place is that they want color coordination in the dresses for their son Imran and Nikat. They again taunt that anything would suit their son, but they have to think 100 times before selecting a color for Nikat due to her dark complexion. Therefore, they have decided that they would choose Imran's suit according to Nikat's dress. Rashid, unable to take it any longer, excuses himself. Razia, trying to please Hasina, says that they would get the suit changed. She says that she just needs the name of the shop and she would go and choose for herself. Just then Ayan walks in, and since everybody assumes that Ayan did the shopping, Razia asks Ayan the address of the shop he bought the suit from. Ayan is in a fix as he doesn't know. The screen freezes on his confused face.